story of the old desk, a Christmas surprise. One day, I was in a small junk shop in Bridport when I saw an old roll-top desk. The shopkeeper told me it was made of oak and was from the early 19th century. I had always wanted a desk like this, but they were too expensive. This one, however, was in really bad shape. The top was broken into pieces, one leg had been badly repaired, and there were burn marks on one side. But it was selling for a very low price. I thought, maybe I can fix it. It was a risk, but I decided to take the chance. I bought the desk, brought it home to my small workroom behind the garage, and on Christmas Eve, I started fixing it. I took off the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The desk was in terrible shape. The wooden surface was peeling off in many places, likely due to water damage. It was clear that both fire and water had left their marks on it. As I pulled out the last drawer, I realized it was stuck. I tried everything to get out gently, but it wouldn't budge. In the end, I had no choice. I hit it hard with my fist. The drawer suddenly flew open, and to my surprise, I saw a hidden compartment underneath. Inside, there was a small black tin box. On top of it, a piece of line paper was stuck with tape. The handwriting was shaky, and a message read, "Jim's last letter, received January 25th, 1915. To be buried with me when the time comes." I knew it was wrong to open the box. It wasn't mine, but my curiosity was too strong to ignore. And like always, curiosity won.
Dearest Connie, I have to tell you about something incredible that happened on Christmas morning. We were in our trenches as usual, prepared for another day of war. The air was crisp, the ground was frozen, and everything was quiet. It was one of the most beautiful Christmas mornings I had ever seen. Then, something unexpected happened. It wasn't us who started it, I'm ashamed to say, but the Germans, the Fritz. A white flag waved from their trenches. Then we heard voices calling across no man's land. "Happy Christmas, Tommy. Happy Christmas." At first, we were shocked, but after a moment, some of us called back. "Same to you, Fritz. Same to you." We thought that would be the end of it, but then one of them climbed up, waving a white flag. "Don't shoot, lads," someone shouted, and no one did. More of them appeared. I warned my men to stay down, thinking it might be a trick, but it wasn't. One of the Germans held up a bottle. "It's Christmas Day, Tommy. We have schnapps. We have sausage. Can we meet?" To my surprise, our men started getting up. Little Private Morris was the first. "Come on, boys. What are we waiting for?" And before I knew it, we were all walking toward the Germans. British khaki met German gray in the middle of no man's land, and I was one of them. I shook hands with their officer. "Hans Wolf," he said, smiling warmly, "from Dusseldorf. I play the cello in an orchestra. Happy Christmas." "Captain Jim McPherson," I replied, "and a happy Christmas to you, too. I'm a school teacher from Dorset, England. We talk like old friends." He spoke perfect English, though he had never been to England. He loved Thomas Hardy's books, especially Far from the Madding Crowd. We shared my rum, his sausage, and the Christmas cake you sent, Connie. He said the marzipan was the best he'd ever tasted. All around us, soldiers laughed, smoked, and shared food. Then someone brought out a football. We set up goalposts using greatcoats, and suddenly it was Tommy versus Fritz in the middle of a battlefield. Hans and I cheered as we watched. At one point, we noticed our breath mixing in the cold air between us. He smiled. "Jim McPherson, this is how we should settle the war. A football match. No one dies in football. No children are orphaned. No wives become widows. I prefer cricket." I joked. "Then we'd have a better chance of winning." We laughed, and we watched the game together. Sadly, Fritz won, 2-1. Hans said it wasn't fair, because our goal was wider. But soon the moment ended. The food was gone, the game was over, and we all knew what came next. We shook hands one last time. "Take care, Jim McPherson." I will never forget this moment, nor you. Hans said. Then he saluted and walked back, turned to wave once before disappearing into the gray-coated crowd. That night, from their trenches, we heard them sing Still Nacht, Silent Night. We responded with While Shepherds Watched. We exchanged carols, and then silence. A brief moment of peace in the middle of war. Connie, I know that by next Christmas, this war will be over. After what happened today, I am certain both sides long for peace. We'll be together again soon. Your loving Jim.